I forgot all about the race direction glitch, and I promise I won't do it ever again, so that will remind me not to do that once again. There's so many bugs and glitches in this game, be very careful what you do. Even pressing the race director, you can't get off it, so apologies. But looks like Igor then, in McLaren, has gone quickest with a 10.7. I think his last lap time was a 10.8, if I'm not mistaken. Matteo looks like he's improved as well with a 10.8. Fraser up to P3, and Belby in P4, who overtakes Mercedes as he slowly gets out of the pit lane, but has to slow down himself anyway because the Red Bull is on a flying lap there. And that's Matteo in P2, or has he just finished it? No, he's going for another one then, so riding on board with the Red Bull there to see what lap time he can set in that car as he makes his way now towards the first sector. 8 thousandths up in that first sector is Matteo then, and he needs to find a lot more time than that if he wants to dethrone Igor off pole position, and he makes his way down into turn number 5 then. Is it turn 5? I actually can't remember. I need to have a look at the map track as we come into these two corners then, taking it very fast through here, but trying not to take too much off the outside curve there, because otherwise sausage curve or the yellow curve will get you and throw you off the track. Now we head down into turn number 10 then, and he's 300s up in that middle sector then, so this is not enough to take pole position unfortunately for him, so he needs to find about 2 more tenths in this last sector if he wants to snatch pole away from Igor. But he makes his way now towards the penultimate corners. What do you think of this track layout as well? Do you think this is better? This is what MotoGP, the Lions MotoGP take. And he goes into P2 then, so he found more time in that last sector, did Matteo. About 500s he found in that last sector, and he puts him into P2. They're just a few hundreds away from Igor in P1, who's on a lap himself in the McLaren. He's 100s up. Belby, who's going for a flying lap there in the Ferrari, so we'll go on board with Igor there to see what lap time he could set, as majority of drivers then in the last sector. Igor coming towards turn number 9 then, flat out right-hander through there in these modern day Formula 1 cars, unbelievable as well. I think Mercedes took it flat out at P1 at 2020 when they had their fastest Formula 1 cars in history, and now we're coming through turn number 12, I believe that is. Last corner's turn 14, so it is turn 12, turn 13 there, and he's in the pit lane then, so he's not happy with his lap time, is Igor. So I didn't see any mistakes unless he can find more time himself. And McLaren, the man who did set a lap time earlier on in this qualifying, puts McLaren into P5, and this is the driver who I went on the race director and unfortunately couldn't get off it. So Jimmy then in P8 in the Mercedes, I think he's going for a flying lap in that car. Matozo just further up the road, it's a few hundreds down in that first sector, so be looking to try and improve on that, but looks like these times are quite close then. Matozo unfortunately invalidating, going out wide at turn number 9, and looks like he was kind of a lot of steering input. I think his teammates just got into P3 with a 10.8 as well, so one Ferrari there on the back foot while the other flying, and he's up into the second row of the grid then. What's Chris doing? Chris is coming around the final corner now. Let's see what lap time he can set. Can he get close to his teammate? It's an 11.0. He improves by 5 thousandths, but it's not enough for him so far, and he can't get the 10s either, so he's got one more last chance to try and get himself inside the 10s. Has Matteo in P2. Here comes Jimmy coming around the penultimate corner, but looks like he's backed out of it. Yes, he has then. So he was improving that middle sector, but fears or thinks he can find more lap time on his final flying lap then. So majority of drivers here I've seen back out of it because they're not really happy with that lap time. They think they can find more time on their last flying lap then, which is going to be as well, because we've got 3 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in this qualifying session. This qualifying session has absolutely flown by every time. For lobby 1 and lobby 2 as well, so we're coming towards the end of the qualifying session very shortly, as these drivers here will have the pressure soaked on him, ramped up. What's Chris doing in P6? We just saw him cross the line, didn't we? Yeah, we did. He's 8 tenths down, so he's not going for a flying lap. He's just on his in lap. Last driver to come back in the pit lane then, so he's going to be the last driver to be out there, as his teammate is coming to the pit lane then, as Chris looks like he almost missed the pit lane. 2 drivers did that in the first lobby, but I don't think anybody's done it in this lobby. I think they all managed to get in the pit lane very safely without any problems through there, because the last corner looks like it's throwing some people off in the pit lane. I carry too much speed. There is a little bump on there, I think. I'm not quite sure if there is or not. I really drove this track too much in this game, it must be said. But we've got Matozo then, who's down in P9 and out for his last potential qualifying run. I think he might get... No, I don't think he will he? I think he might get 2 flying runs. Depends if he invalidates his first lap and wants to go for that second lap time. Hence why he's came out earlier than the others, where the others might get 1 lap in, because they're leaving it to the very last stage. So we'll see as he crosses the line if he's got another lap in his hand, just in case he makes a mistake, because that's where he did it last time at turn number 9, Matozo, and invalidating it. Looks like he carried a lot of understeer as well as he went flat out through there, but the front end of it just couldn't live with it. And he's up with 11.1 then, so he's close. It's about 2-3 tenths to his teammate is Matozo then, so not much in hand. And now we're coming towards the final corner then. Matozo starts his final flying lap as he might negotiate his way through some traffic, I wonder. The Aston Martin, McLaren, Mercedes, who are quite close together at turn number 4, we'll see. But Matozo then looked like hesitation into turn number 1. Now we're heading into turn number 2. But I wonder how much lap time that cost him as well, as we're coming through turn number 3, taking the tightest line through there as you possibly can. He's 800s down then, so I wonder that hesitation there, turn number 1, just cost him slightly. Now coming through turn number 5 here, just breaking into 3rd gear, getting the throttle. Oh, he's backed out of it, so I told you that he had 1 more lap time on the board there. And he realises that his lap time wasn't going to be good enough unfortunately for him then, so he joins the rest of them. And we'll see who's the next one to cross the line. He's currently in AI at the moment, is Matozo. Igor then in McLaren coming through the 3rd corner. I don't really like this corner for some reason, I don't know why. Even though it's flat out, I feel like I lose a lot of time. As 4,000's down the first set to easy Igor, he took a lot of curb at turn number 4 there, so it might cost him a little bit. But we'll see then if it cost him at all. Back end just sliding as he puts the throttle down at the exit of turn number 6 as we head into turn number 7 and 8 we go for the McLaren. I'm not quite sure if he made a mistake though, or if that's just lag for him. And now coming through the flat out corner at turn number 9, no problems through there for him whatsoever. But this is his last chance then, if he wants to extend his gap. He's 1 tenth down is Igor then, so that obvious mistake down at turn number 5 and turn number 4 I think it was, what cost him the most. And that's a shame for him then. As Matteo in the Red Bull then goes quickest with a 10.6. He is happy with that one in the Red Bull, knows he's gone quicker. And is anybody out there to stop him? Fraser isn't. He's 2 tenths down in the first sector. Where is everybody else? ETA, Chris, 9,000 up in that first sector. We've got Mercedes making his way towards the line. Is that Fraser? No, that's his teammate Jimmy, but Jimmy hasn't improved either as Fraser has invalidated it then. So that's it for him. His qualifier's done and dusted. We've got McLaren making his way towards the line now. Is that McLaren? Yes it is, but he's validated it unfortunately for him. We've got Mercedes now crossing the line. And it looks like the Mercedes hasn't improved. I think that was Jimmy, Fraser. Was it Fraser? I think it was him. Yeah, it was him in the Mercedes. The Aston Martin crossing the line. Danny Connor in P7 can't improve either. What about the Ferrari of Belby in P3? No, he can't, so that's his qualifying done and dusted as well. Matozo in P9, going for that last lap. He's 4 tenths down, so he can't quite hook it up, unfortunately for him. ETA Chris is in the pit lane then, so Matteo there will take pole position with a 10.6. And he's a few hundreds up as well. I keep saying pole position, but it's not really pole, but you know what I mean anyways. Looks like both Red Bulls had a strong session with P1 and P6 there. And lobby 2 is done and dusted then. You're just looking to qualify to try and race in the next few weeks coming up. Looking good for both McLarens as well. Aston Martin on the back foot slightly with Danny Connor with P7 and David in P10. Never really saw him, but he did set 11.9 on his first lap, and it's 11.2. Bear in mind though, it's not too far away, but obviously he would have dared to love improve, try and get himself amongst the others, but couldn't quite do so on that occasion. But we'll find out next week's results to see who's qualified. And I love it when esports drivers get together and race, because it's always interesting, the battle of the teams, with a lot of people watching as well. Pressures are high with a lot of people watching the race. Expect you to do well, but it's quite hard to deliver under pressure. Some people can manage it, but people like me can't. Hence why I'm a commentator, not a racer. We'll watch the first lap to see if all these drivers will crash out, and I will end the stream. But thanks for tuning in everybody. I hope you all enjoyed that. And hopefully you had a good weekend as well. So I'll see you all. Apologies again for the my mistake for the race director, hence why there's a second stream up, but yeah, we all make mistakes, so can't really help it. Yeah, some drivers are left already, so I think I'll end the stream here, and hopefully you've all enjoyed your weekend and have a great evening. See you all later for next week at Sunday. We'll see what happens next week on Sunday, this time next week as well, so tune in for that. And yeah,